They're so tiny. Nice. A lot lighter.
And I'm really kind of worried about
The noise.
nothing up here, but I'll be able to listen on my phone to see what it sounds like.
Oh,
And you
okay.
probably have plenty of people listening out there that'll notify me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm streaming right now. Did you want to like do some test audio?
Sure. Testing. Yeah, whoa, you can't hear anything really crazy. Well, I mean, I can hear myself talking. Ba 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 da 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 da. Cindy said she can hear me. Cindy, yeah, she can hear. She texted. Cindy, should we turn the voice volume up or down? Testing, testing. Okay. She said it's good on her end. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right, I'm going back down there. They got the roster now. 2 minutes. 2 minutes on the clock, everybody. Just a reminder, if you are streaming via YouTube, that we have Alaska Air raffle tickets for sale at KSTK. You could win 2 round-trip tickets anywhere Alaska Air flies and support public radio at the same time. You can call the radio station at 907-874-2345 and help keep this broadcast live and well, coming to you from Tlingit Ani right here in Wrangell, AK. So again, that's KSTK Alaska Air Raffle to help support public radio in Wrangell. You can be a part of the winning team when you support public radio. And we're going to have the cheer squad do their thing, and we'll get going with this game. Looks like we have Jeff Jabush as an official tonight, Chief Meek, Jim Brooks, and Dustin Johnson. All right, big thank you to the Wrangell High School Pep Band, Director Tasha Morse, Assistant Dan Powers, and Assistant Heather Howe. Thank you, Silji Morse, Stella Bunes, Andre Barden Seikowicz, Arabella Noor, Ever Edens, and Susan Neff. And your cheer squad, Ellie Volts, Paige Hoyt, Kaylin McCutcheon, Maya Houston, Sophia Martinson, Charlie Nelson, Kaylee Herman, Breanne Boone, Bella Ritchie, and your head coach is Tyler Nelson and assistant Cassandra Schilling Schultz. And we're going to have our pet band do our anthem. And we're going to announce the starting 5. Okay, first we're going to do the national anthem, everybody. And I do believe the pep band, the choir is going to take this one on. Folks, this is Wrangell's first night of home games. We want to welcome you to the Wrangell High School YouTube channel and broadcasting the play-by-play via KSTK. Excellent. That is a mix of basketball, Wrangell High School Choir, pep band, and folks running in from the crowd. A mix of all kinds of students, a part of Tasha Morse's high school choir. We're going to get going with the starting five. Number 15, Mary Bell. We have Cece Elliott, number 30. Sophia Hedden, number 1. Swanner, number 22. Patience Nelson, number 31. Folks, I'm going to do my best to memorize these names and players. Otherwise, bear with me. Yes, here is Christina Johnson, number 12. Shaylin Nelson, number 35. Alana Harrison. Alexis Easterly, 25, and Haley Cook, number 5. Folks, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a quick game. I got a meatloaf at home, and I want to get to it. All right, folks, here we go. We're going to have the tip-off, and sitting behind the volunteer table, we have Graham Gablehouse, we have Tammy Meisner, Bridget Pettigrew, we also have Heather, our new AD, and we also have Kathleen Easterly and Darren taking money at the front. And we have the cheer squad with the cake raffle as well. So if you've got time, come on out to the gym. Otherwise, stay with us at the live stream right here. I've got Alana Harrison, and I have number 30, Elliott, for the tip-off here. Lady Glacier Bears versus the Lady Wolves. Here we go. First game of the season. Over to Haynes. And we've got number 1 with the ball, Hedden. She's going to keep it top, pass it left to 22, and try to pass it up top to number 15, but they lose it. And Wrangell's going to get that ball and get it down to Johnson, moving her way towards the paint, but she loses control of the ball, and it's going to end up going back with Haynes. I've got number 1, Hedden with the ball. Wrangell Wolves stop her across the court. She passes off to 15, tries to get it to 22, but Harrison's right there to get the steal. Goes up with the layup, and it's good. That's 2 for Wrangell. Wrangell's doing a full course press right at the start of the game. Haynes is trying to get the ball down the court. I've got number 30 with it. She tried to hand it off to number 15, Bell, but it ends up going out of bounds. It's going to be Wrangell ball. I got Harrison throwing it in for Wrangell, number 11. She's going to hand off to Johnson, 12. Johnson's going to be in the middle of the court. She's going to pick it up, move it left to Cook. Haley's going to keep it and pass it back up top to Harrison. Harrison to Johnson in the right, into the paint to Nelson. Nelson kicks it out to Easterly. Easterly goes up with the shot. Does the old in and out. And it's going to be Haynes ball. Not quite the toilet bowl roll. All right, I've got 15 at the top with it for Haynes. She picks up her dribble, and she's going to try to pass off to 31, Nelson. Nelson gives it up top to 1, Hedden. Hedden's going to try to give it over to 22, Swanner, but it ends up going out of bounds, and it's going to be Wrangell ball. I've got Christina Johnson on the sidelines there in front of her team getting ready to throw in that ball. And Haley Cook has it in the middle. She's going to pick up her dribble and pass it left to Harrison. Harrison's going to take a minute and bounce pass into Nelson into the paint. Nelson kicks it out to Cook. Cook to Johnson at the top of the 3 to Harrison left to Easterly in the corner. Back out to Harrison. She looks for Easterly in the paint. And Easterly would have been there, but the ball was just not wanting to hit the hands. Haynes has the ball now. Number 1, Hedden. She's trying to make her way down, but the Lady Wolves have a full court press going on. They get it off to 15, Bell, and she hands off to number 30 and tries to get it to number 31, Nelson, under the basket, but it ends up going out of bounds. It's going to be Wrangell ball. Haley Cook has the ball in the middle. She's going to pass left to Johnson. Johnson's going to bounce pass into Nelson. Nelson's going to turn around and kick it out to Cook. Cook's going to make her way into the paint, kick it out to Nelson. Nelson puts a shot up. It's good. Right in front of the free throw line there in the paint. That's 4 for Wrangell, 0 for Haynes. And we got Haynes trying to get the ball down. Number 30 has it. Elliott, she's going to move past the Wolves on that full court press, almost make it all the way down, loses control but regains the ball, kicks it out to number 1, Hedden. Hedden gives it to Swainer. Swainer's at the three-point line, but it's no good. Nelson, Shaylin for Wrangell ends up with the rebound and kicks it to Johnson. Johnson gives it over to Harrison. She's going to give it to Easterly in the corner on the right-hand side. She tries to get it to Nelson, and that makes its way to Cook. Cook goes up for a nice little jumper by the free throw line and makes it. So that's 6 Wrangell, 0 Haynes. We still have full court pressure happening. Number 30, Elliott trying to get it down the court, gives it off to Hedden. Hedden to number 22, Swainer. Swainer gets it down to 31 under the basket. 31 kind of tries to bounce it off. 35, Shaylin with Wrangell. And ends up being Haynes' ball. Haynes is throwing in under the basket. And we have number 30 with it, and she's going to move up, give it off to 1. Hedden gives it down to number 31, gives it back up to 15, Bell. And that ends up in Wrangell hands. Harrison's moving down the way and going to bounce into the paint, kick it out to Johnson. Johnson goes up for a beautiful 3, and the crowd goes wild. Christina Johnson, she's small, but she's got a heck of a three-point shot. So that's 9 Wrangell, Lady Wolves, and 0 for Haynes. That's a 30-second timeout. So we're going to kick it back to KSTK, and we'll be back. Just a reminder, the folks listening over the YouTube channel, KSTK has Alaska Air raffle tickets. It's a great way to support public radio and take a chance on winning 2 round-trip tickets anywhere Alaska Air flies. 874-2345. Lady Wolves are on the court. Glacier Bears are about to join them. Haynes is going to have the ball under the hoop. Elliott is throwing it in. She's going to give off to Hedden. Hedden is going to make her way down the court past the Wolves, loses control, and ends up with Christina, but it bounces off Christina and ends up with Harrison for Wrangell. Harrison gives it to Johnson, Johnson to Nelson. Nelson looks up, but passes out to Cook. Cook puts it up. It's just shy of the basket, goes out of bounds, but Harrison's there to save it. Gets it to Shaylin, to Nelson, and it is good. We've got Haynes with the ball. Hedden was making her way down the court. Wrangell was right there. Harrison knocked it out, but it ended up going off Haynes' hands. So we're going to have Wrangell Lady Wolves on the side court passing in. Johnson has it in the middle. She's going to take it left to Cook. Cook's going to look for Nelson, but end up bouncing it off of Haynes' leg. She had Easterly striking through the bottom there, but it just wasn't quick enough. We have another timeout happening. And we're going to go for a full timeout, so I'm going to kick it back to you, Cindy. And for the folks listening on the YouTube channel, thank you again for streaming the Wrangell High School YouTube channel. You can thank your Wrangell High School pep band this year: Silji Morse, Stella Bunes, Andre Barden Sejkovic, Arabella Knorr, Everett Edens, and Susan Neff. Thank you to Director Tasha Morse, Assistant Dan Powers, and Assistant Heather Howe. And thanks to the cheerleaders, Head Coach Tyla Nelson, Assistant Cassandra Schilling-Schultz, and your cheer squad is Ellie Volts, Paige Hoyt, Kayla McCutcheon, Maya Houston, Sophia Martinson, Charlie Nelson, Kaylee Herman, Breanne Boone, and Bella Ritchie. All right. We got Wrangell Wolves on the sidelines about ready to push the ball into the court. Cook has it on top. She's going to pass left to Johnson. Johnson's going to move left and bring the ball up for a shot. It's good. 13-0. Wrangell's up. Wrangell's putting the pressure on Haynes as they try to make the ball across the court, but Easterly ends up getting it away from number 5 and Haynes and kicking it out to Cook. Cook over to Harrison. Harrison makes her way into the paint, goes up for a twofer. It's no good. Haynes ends up with the rebound. I've got number 30 coming down, Elliott. She tries to pass into the paint, but it ends up with Nelson for Wrangell. Cook has the ball now. She's at the top. She's telling someone to go through the paint. Kicking it down to Johnson, down into Nelson. Nelson goes up for 2. It's good. That's 15 Wrangell, 0 Haynes. Wrangell still putting the full court pressure on. And we got Cook taking the ball for number 5 for Haynes. And Cook was able to get the ball away from Martin and put it up for a layup. So that's 17-0. Wrangell still putting that full court pressure on and was able to get the ball away from Haynes again, but ended up throwing it out of bounds. So now it's going to be Haynes' ball. First quarter, 2:56 on the clock, 17 Wrangell, 0 Haynes. The Lady Wolves are coming out of the den with a mighty growl tonight. Full court pressure since the start, and they're not letting up even with a 17-point spread. So I've got Hedden with the ball for Haynes, and she's at the top. She's going to move right and get herself around Harrison and kick it down to 22, who tries to get it into 30 into the paint, but it goes over her hands with Easterly, with Wrangell taking it and giving it to Johnson. Johnson tries to get into Harrison in the paint, but it ends up doing a scuttlebug around, and Cook ends up with the ball by the three-point line and puts it up. It's no good. Haynes ends up with the rebound. I've got Hedden with the ball for Haynes up on the top. She's going to move left and try to kick it right, but Harrison's going to get the ball from her and go up for a lay-in. That's 19 Wrangell, 0 Haynes. And the Lady Wolves have let up on that full court pressure. Hedden has the ball for Haynes. And her teammate's trying to set a screen. That's 15 trying to set the screen. And Hedden's trying to pass it to someone, but no one was quite looking or willing to move their feet for the ball. I've got Wrangell with the ball. This is our friend Chuka Chuka. Kaya Breivik with the ball, throwing into Johnson for Wrangell. Johnson has it at the top, and she's going to pass it right to Breivik, and she's going to kick it back up top to Eastaugh. Eastaugh left to Johnson. Johnson bounce pass into Perviance. Perviance kicks it out to Harrison, who puts up the shot. It's no good, and Haynes gets an easy rebound. Hedden with the ball at the top with Harrison on her. Tries to kick it right to 15, almost loses it, but gains control and then kicks it to 22 at the top. Swanner gets it to Hedden. Hedden tries to get it into the paint down to 30, but it ends up going out of bounds, but it is going to be Haynes' ball. And I have 22 Swainer under the hoop passing in for Haynes to number 1, Hedden. Hedden gives it to 15. 15 gets it into the paint to 30. 30 gives it out to 1, Hedden. Hedden goes up for the shot. It's no good from the corner. And everyone watches the ball dribble a few times, and Lady Wolves pick it up. Johnson throws into Breivik. And passes left. Gives it to Eastaugh, who gives it into Perviance, who loses it to number 1, Hedden for Haynes. Haynes is at the top with it. Hedden's going to move it right to number 15, Bell. And she's going to lose it to Harrison, who's right there to go up with a nice lay-in. And that's going to be 21 Wrangell, 0 for Haynes. 45 seconds left in the first quarter. Harrison almost fumbles the ball again for him, but 15 for Haynes ends up on the ground and ends up giving it to Harrison, so she's going back down the court for another easy lay-in. 30 seconds on the clock. Hedden with the ball for Haynes. She's going to stop at the top. Pass it right. Almost loses it. 15 gives it off to 30. 30 goes into the paint, tries to kick it up. It's no good. Ends up with her own rebound, but gives it out to number 12, Johnson for Wrangell. Johnson makes her way down. She's going to stop at the top, give it off to Eastaugh, who's also at the top, kicking it right to Breivik. Breivik into the paint to Perviance. Perviance tries to get it up, but number 30 was right there. That's Elliott to say, no way, Jose. And it ends up being Wrangell ball under the hoop. 3 seconds left. Haynes still hasn't scored in the first quarter. Johnson hands it into Harrison. Harrison tries to go up for an easy twofer, but misses it, and it ends up Haynes' ball, and that's the end of the first quarter. 23 Wrangell, 0 Haynes, and we're going to have a minute break, and we'll be back. All right, everybody. And we're going to be back for the second quarter of the Lady Wolves versus the Haynes Lady Glacier Bears. 23-0 heading into the second quarter. And looks like someone's out of breath on the Glacier Bears side, so we're going to have a little bit more of a break if you want to send it back to KSTK. So, looks like Dustin's coming over. He's an EMT, talking to the coach, never mind. I think we just have someone out of breath, maybe an inhaler is needed. It's number 22 having some issues there. That's Swainer. And just waiting a little longer here, folks. Just a reminder, you are tuned in at the Wrangell High School YouTube channel and at KSTK 101.7 FM. All right, so we have the teams back on the court, and it looks like Dr. Harrison's talking to our friend Swainer, so she's in good hands, don't worry. We're going to get back to the game, folks. And I've got Wrangell on the side with Eastaw kicking it into Johnson. All right, Johnson's got it, and she's got it up top, going to kick it left to Breivik. And Breivik's going to get it back to Eastaw. Almost loses it with a hand right there, but they end up gaining control, giving it into Purviance and kicking out to Roundtree, out to Johnson. Eastaw on the top into Breivik. Breivik gets to Purviance in the paint. She goes up. It's no good. Eastaw gets the rebound. That shot's no good. Roundtree gets the rebound. That shot's no good. 25, Haynes has the ball now, and that is LaPerry. I got Hedden with the ball for Haynes, and she's picking up her dribble. She's going to give it out to 25, LaPerry, and she's going to kick it out to 30, Elliott. Elliott gives it down to number 31 in the corner. They give it out to Hedden. Hedden into 30 to the paint. Kick it out to 25. She gives it over to 23, and then 25 flashes in, and unfortunately the ball for Haynes ends up being a fumble, and it's going to be Wrangell ball. We have Johnson throwing the ball into Eastaw. Eastaw's going to kick it left to Breivik. Breivik into Purviance. She's going to go up for a layup. It's no good, and Haynes is going to end up with that ball. LaPerry for the rebound. Hedden has the ball now, and she's at the top. She's going to move right with it, pick up her dribble, and bounce pass into 25. 25 back out to 1. 1 gives it back out to 25. 25 bounce pass into 1. 1 goes up for the shot. That's Hedden. The shot's no good. Ends up being a rebound by 25. That's LaPerry. And ends up in Wrangell hands. Eastall with the ball on the top. She's going to pick up her dribble and move it right. Johnson goes up with the shot. It's beautiful. Beautiful three-point shot from Johnson. Heading with the ball for Haynes. And she's going to move it right after a screen from LaPerry. And Hedden's going to keep the ball, kick it to number 30, then back to 25 at the top, 25 over to 23. But Brevik is right there to grab that ball. She tries to go up for a two-point layup, but the Haynes gal was right there. And we're going to be shooting at the line here. And that foul was on 23, Haynes. That's Bell. Brevik going up with the shot. It's no good. And this is Kaya Brevik, number 10, shooting at the free throw line. And that shot's up. It's... Oh! Look at that. She beat the old toilet bowl roll. My goodness. That was a humdinger. I've got Hedden with the ball on the top for Haynes. She's trying to move it around. She's going to slice into the paint and stop. Kick it out to 31. 31 loses control, gains control, kicks it out to number 1. Hedden at the top. She kicks it to 30. 30 tries to slice into the paint. She goes up with her little kicker. It's up and over. Gets her own rebound. Hits it out to Hedden. Hedden goes up for the shot, and it ends up with a rebound from Eastall. Wrangell has the ball now, and it's going to move right to 30. That must be a Meisner. Meisner kicks it into Perviance. Perviance tries to do something with it, but Hedden's right there. Ends up with Wrangell hands, and Brevik tries to get that ball right down to Eastall under the hoop, but the pass just wasn't quite there for Eastall. But that was a really nice try. That would have been beautiful if it connected. All right, we got Hedden for Haynes now, and she's going to be at the top, moving right then left after a screen from her friend LaPerry. LaPerry gets the ball from number 23, Bell, and Wrangell ends up with that ball. AJ Roundtree's making her way down the court. She stops, she puts the ball up. It's no good. We're going to have a rebound by Brevik, and she kicks the ball out to anybody she can. It's a Carney. Carney gives it to Perviance. Perviance goes up. That shot's no good. Carney gets the rebound for Wrangell. And that shot goes up, hits the cables, they call the whistle, and it'll be a Haynes ball. We got 27 Wrangell, 0 Haynes. Looks like we have our younger gals on the court for Wrangell right now, getting them some court time. And we got Hedden at the top here, and she's going to fumble the ball a little bit, pass off to number 23, Bell. Bell down the corner to 30, Elliott. Elliott gets it down to Hedden, who gives it at the top of the key there to number 25, LaPerry. And it ends up a jump ball between Hedden and Carney. And it's going to be a Wrangell ball. And we're going to have the other Brevik in, number 2. And that is Amira Brevik for Wrangell. And we're going to have her sister, number 10, sit down. And now we have a whistle by the refs. We'll find out soon. It's 27 Wrangell, 0 Haynes. And they're saying it's actually Haynes' ball. It's Haynes' ball. I don't know how they keep track, but Dustin knew that it was Haynes' ball. All right. Years of the game. And 1. All right. So here we go, folks. It's going to be Haynes' ball after that jump ball. And we're going to have number 30, Elliott, under the basket, and she's going to try to pass it in. She's going to get it to Hedden in the corner. Hedden's going to bounce pass to LaPerry, who tries to get it into the paint, but it gets passed back out, kind of swatted back out to LaPerry. And then up to number 1, Hedden at the top of the key, who bounce passes down to number 30 in the paint. And that is Elliott, who fumbles the ball, gets it out to 23, kicks it to LaPerry to Hedden at the top. Hedden's holding on for a second. She's going to move into the key and kick it out to Elliott. Elliott puts the shot up. It's no good. 31 almost ends up with it. Nelson for Haynes, but it ends up with Hedden. Then it ends up with Bell, and then back to Hedden, and now it's with LaPerry, and now it's with Hedden at the top of the key. She's going to try to move in. She kicks it out to 23, Bell. Bell gives it to LaPerry, who tries to shoot, but Roundtree is right there, and she's going to try to make her way down the court, but it ends up with Haynes. Haynes has the ball now. Hedden's going to get a pass from LaPerry, and they're going to move towards their hoop. And we've got LaPerry at the top, Hedden at the top, passing LaPerry, and they get it down to 31. Nelson for Haynes, who gives it to LaPerry, splashing into the paint. The ball goes up, it's no good, and we have a jump ball rebound. So now it's going to be Wrangell ball. No, we got Bryson Phillips in the crowd, everybody. So we have Amira Breivik throwing in to Meisner. Mini Meisner. All right. Meisner to AJ. Roundtree. They try to get it to Breivik, but Haynes, number 22, flashes in. Tries to go up for a layup. 22. That's Swainer. It's no good. Wrangell ends up with the rebound. We've got Breivik passing over to Meisner. Meisner to Roundtree. Roundtree tries to get into Purviance, but the bounce pass just wasn't there, so it's going to end up with Hedden, number 1 for Haynes. She's at the top of the key, and we're going to have a 30-second timeout with Wrangell High School coach, Christy Good. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, so I think we're just going to leave it right here. And okay, no timeout. I thought it was a timeout, but we're not. Oh, she said never mind. That's okay, though. It's getting a little messy out here. We need a reset. All right, we got subs. We have people switching people. And now we have the ball in with Hedden Haynes at the top. And she's going to move left with it and pass it off to 22, Swainer. Swainer gives it to LaPerry at the top of the key, who gives it to Hedden down at the bottom there. And Hedden tries to get the ball up, but it ends with a Wrangell rebound. Purviance has the ball now, and now gives it off to Roundtree, then Roundtree to Meisner. Meisner to Breivik, kind of, but ends up in Haynes' hands. So now it's going to be Hedden with the ball. At the top, trying to move her way into the paint, kicks it out to 23, Bell. Bell gives it back to Hedden, who's now at the three-point line, who gives it to LaPerry at the top, who gives it to Swainer at the top, who tries to get it into the paint to Elliott, but it's just too tall, ends up out of bounds. It's Wrangell ball. 27 Wrangell, 0 Haynes, 1:56 on the clock. It's the second quarter. Got Meisner with the ball, kicking it left to Roundtree. Roundtree's going to bounce pass into Purviance. She's going to get the ball, try to move into the basket, but 22 grabs it and gives it out to Hedden, and Haynes is going to end up with the ball. Hedden off to 23, Bell. Bell tries to get it into the paint to number 30, but it doesn't quite make it. Ends up with Haynes. They kick it out to Swainer. Swainer puts it up. It's no good. Roundtree ends up with the rebound for Haynes, or for Wrangell. And now we have Meisner with the ball, who gives it to Breivik, who bounce passes to Purviance at the top of the key, and they call her for a travel, which I don't blame her. She's got a couple of people on her, and it's quite hard to do anything when you've got 2 to 3 people guarding you and making sure you do nothing with the ball. So, nice try, and better luck next time. 27-0, second quarter, 1:20 on the clock. We have a timeout. I'm going to kick it back to KSTK. Let's say it's 30 seconds. All right, folks, here we go. Back on the court. Haynes, Lady Bears are ready. Lady Wolves are joining them. 27 Wrangell, 0 Haynes. I've got Haynes with the ball. Hedden's at the top here, bringing the ball down. We got Meisner doing a full court press on her. And Hedden's going to pass off sloppily to number 15, Bell, who gives it over to LaPerry. And AJ Roundtree intercepts a pass, makes her way down the court, and then gets it stripped by Haynes. It's going to end up being a Wrangell ball still. Hi, Remy Lou. All right, we have Brevik under the basket. That's Amira. She's going to pass into AJ right under the basket, who's going to put it up. It's no good. Ends up in Haynes' hands. And Hedden gets handed that rebound from number 22, Swainer. Hedden gives it over to 15, Bell. Bell over to LaPerry. And back to 15, Bell at the top, down into the paint to number 30. They kick it out to Hedden, and she puts a shot up. It's no good. Brevik gets the rebound from a friend and gives it off to Meisner on the Wolves side of the court. Meisner gets fouled up and almost loses the ball, tries to get it off to Brevik, but we have Haynes ending up on top of Brevik, so they're going to call a foul on that player, number 15, Bell. So it's going to be Wrangell ball on the side, 31 seconds on the clock, second quarter. Brevik into Meisner. Meisner over to Roundtree. Roundtree pops it into Purviance, but of course she's got 4 girls on her, so it's Haynes ball. We've got Hedden with the ball, handing off to Bell. Bell's going to get it off to Swainer, but we've got Brevik, Amira taking it, and she's going to put her layup up. It's no good. AJ gets the rebound. She puts her layup up. It's no good, and Haynes ends up with the ball. They lob it down. Hedden down to number 30. Elliott, the ball rolls around a bit and ends up going out of bounds, and it's going to be a Haynes ball. And Haynes with the ball, Hedden puts the ball up. The shot is no good. That is 27 Wrangell, 0 Haynes. And that's the end of the second quarter, so we'll take a halftime break. Back to you at KSTK and KHNS. All right, everybody. Minute 30 on the clock. Minute 30. All right, less than a minute. We're going to start the third quarter of the Lady Wolves versus the Haynes Lady Glacier Bears. 27-0. Wrangell started out with a full court press, and they didn't let up until they had about a 19-point spread. So, we will see what they decide to do starting into the second half. And it looks like they're going to start out. Wrangell's going to start out with their starting 5 lineup again. All right, so I've got number 30 on the sidelines for Haynes. That's Elliott, and she's going to be passing into Hedden, number 1 for Haynes. And I've got Breivik guarding Hedden. That is Kaya. All right, Hedden with Haynes has the ball. And she's moving her way up to the free throw line, putting a shot up. It's no good. Breivik ends up with the rebound, loses control almost, regains, and passes up the court to Haley Cook. Cook has the ball now, and she's going to pass it to the top to Breivik, number 2, and give it off to Breivik, number 10, and to Cook. Cook out to number 10. Breivik for Wrangell. They're going to put a shot up. It's no good. We're going to have Easterly with the rebound. She puts it back up, and it's good. And I have Hedden with the ball with Haynes. She's going to move it to the top and give it off to number 31, Nelson for Haynes. And they try to give it up to 15, but Breivik ends up getting that ball. And that would be Amira Breivik that made away with the ball, but we had another Wrangell teammate actually score that point. So I've got Hedden with the ball for Haynes at the top. She's trying to set something up. We've got a screen, or tried to do a screen from Swainer, and Hedden picks up her dribble. She's looking for somebody, passes off behind her to Elliott. Elliott goes into the corner. Easterly gives her a little bit of a boop, and a foul is called. 31 Wrangell, 0 Haynes. It's going to be Haynes' ball under the hoop. That's number 30, Elliott. She's going to pass in, looking for someone. Bounce pass to 15. That's Bell, and it ends up going out of bounds. So it's going to be Wrangell ball. Cook has the ball for Wrangell. She's at the top. She's going to kick it left to Breivik. That's number 2. She throws the ball up. It's no good. Bell for Haynes ends up with that rebound, and she kicks it over to Swainer. Swainer gives it to Hedden, who's at the top, and going to pick up her dribble. Pick up her dribble at the top. Kick it over number 15. She gives it up to Swainer. Swainer tries to get it down to Elliott, but Wrangell's right there, so the ball goes out of bounds. And we're going to have Elliott on the sidelines for Haynes trying to throw in. She gets it to 22, Swainer, who gives it to Hedden. Hedden to Bell. Bell gives it to Swainer. Cook is right there, but Swainer keeps the ball, and they end up passing it off to Elliott, who tries to get into the paint to Hedden, who gives it off to 31, Nelson, but it ends up in Cook's hands. She's going to make her way down the court, and with layup, it's no good. Easterly's right there to get the rebound. Her shot's no good. She's going to take a dribble out and end up in Haynes' hands. That's Swainer getting after it. She gives it off to Elliott. Elliott's going to make her way down the court, but pass up to number 15, Bell. And then we're going to have a jump ball. So it's going to be Wrangell ball. I've got Breivik, number 10, under the hoop for Wrangell, passing into Cook. And Cook's at the top. She's going to pass it right to Breivik, number 10, down to Easterly in the corner. Easterly goes up with the shot. It's no good. And Haynes ends up with the ball, but Wrangell was right there, and Easterly went in after the shot, but Haynes ended up with the rebound and made their way down the court, but it ultimately ended up in Wrangell's hands, and they go to lob it to Nelson, Shaylin for Wrangell, and it just was over her head and went out of bounds. So that's 31 Wrangell, 0 Haynes, 5:13 on the clock, third quarter. I've got Elliott throwing into Hedden. That's number 1 for Haynes. And Hedden's at the top. Got some discussion happening between the coaches. And Hedden gives it in to 25, LaPerry. She kicks it out to 23. 23 back to LaPerry. And she gives it to number 5, Martin. And Martin almost loses it. Oh, passes it off to Hedden, but Brevik is right there. Number 10 goes up for a layup, and it's good. That is Kaya Brevik. Now I have Hedden at the top for Haynes. She's going to move into the paint and try to kick it out to a friend, but ends up traveling. She tried to kick it out to LaPerry, and it just didn't quite work. Number 10, Brevik for Wrangell, throws into Haley Cook. And we've got Haley kicking off 10 to Brevik. Brevik to Easterly in the corner. She moves in closer to the basket, goes up. It's no good. Haynes ends up with the ball. And we're going to throw it up to Hedden for Haynes. And she's going to make her way to the top. She's going to dribble around, move left. Almost lose control of the ball. She's going to pick up the dribble, give it off to number 5, Martin. Martin tries to pass it into the paint to Hedden, and Shaylin Nelson was right there to tie up that ball. It's going to stay a Haynes jump ball. 4 minutes on the clock, 33 Wrangell, 0 Haynes. And I have Elliott under the hoop for Haynes trying to throw it in. And she's going to get it to LaPerry, 25, out to number 23, Bell. And Bell's giving that up to Hedden at the top. LaPerry tries to set a screen. Nothing really comes from it. Hedden picks up her dribble, tries to get it to LaPerry with a bounce pass, but ends up with Wrangell. Eastaugh has it now. She's going to pick up her dribble, give it to Johnson. Johnson moves in closer to the paint, puts a shot up. It's no good. Eastaugh's right there for an easy rebound, kicks it out to Harrison. Harrison kicks it to Johnson at the top now for Wrangell. She's going to set it back up, takes a couple dribbles, kicks it out to Eastaugh. Eastaugh goes up with a beautiful three-point shot. Beautiful three-point shot. All right, and moving left is Hedden. Picks up her dribble, looks for somebody. 23 is right there. Bell loses the ball to a jump with Eastaugh, who's right there to get her hands on the ball. Little known fact, but every three-point shot Jenna makes, her grandpa Brent is going to give her $20. All right, Eastaugh has the ball now after pass from Harrison, and they give it to Purviance at the top, who gives it to Johnson on the side. Johnson to Harrison in the corner. She dribbles in, tries to get a shot up. It's no good. Eastaugh with the rebound. Her shot goes up. It's no good. Eastaugh ends up with their own rebound with the shot going up. It's no good. Ends up as a Haynes ball. And we got Hedden with the ball now after Elliott threw it to her. Hedden passes off to 23. 23 tries to give it to Martin, but ends up with LaPerry saving it from the half court and ends up in 30's hands. That's Elliott for Haynes. Elliott's at the top now. She's going to pass off to 23. That's Bell. Bell back to Elliott on the corner there on the right-hand side. She moves into the paint, tries to kick it out, but it ends up with Eastaugh. Eastaugh has the ball. She's going to give it to Harrison, who's going to kick it left to Johnson, who's going to give it into the paint to Purviance. And Haynes is right there to muck it up, so it's going to roll around a bit and ends up with Haynes' hands. That was with an M, folks. All right, now I have Haynes back with the ball on their side of the court. Hedden stuck in the corner, gives it to Martin. Martin has a shot go up, and it goes off the back of the shot there, goes up and ends back up with Martin. She kicks it out and another shot goes up, and then we have, looks like a jump ball, I think, or maybe a hand on arm. 36 Wrangell, 0 Haynes, 1:51 on the clock, third quarter. I have Johnson with the ball for Wrangell. Johnson's going to kick it left to Harrison. Harrison's going to give it into the paint to Perviant. She's going to kick it out to Carney. Carney's going to bounce past to Harrison on the left. Harrison's going to look around a bit and give it to Johnson in the corner. Johnson's going to take a dribble, give it back to Harrison at the top. Harrison's going to move around, telling Eastaugh to come out. Eastaugh moves out. They flash up Perviance to the top. She bounce passes to Carney in the paint. Carney tries to get it to Eastaugh, flashing towards the basket, but it ends up with Haynes. Hedden has the ball at the top, and she's going to kick it right to number 23, Bell. Bell has Eastaugh right there, and Eastaugh makes her way in, grabs the ball, ends up with a jump, and it's going to stay a Haynes ball. Minute on the clock, third quarter. 25, LaPerry gets it into Hedden, who tries to get it over to 23 under the paint. Bell, this is all happening under the basket, ends up going out of bounds. And I think it's going to be a Haynes ball. That's number 30 with the ball under the hoop. Elliott out to Hedden, but it's not quite there, and it's going to end up being a Wrangell ball. And Harrison throws into Johnson. Johnson's at the top. And she's going to pick up a dribble, give it right to Eastaugh. Eastaugh's going to give it to the top to Perviance, who gives it over to Harrison on the left, into the corner to Johnson with the shot up. It's no good. In and out. And we have number 30, Elliott, with the rebound for Haynes. 43 seconds on the clock. Hedden's at the top with the ball. She's going to move left after a screen from Martin. Martin pick and rolls, goes up with the shot. Oh, for the love of God, just one shot, please. Oh, these poor girls. Okay, so they go up with a couple of shots. It comes back down, ends up in Wrangell hands. Now we got Johnson with the ball. And she's moving into the paint, kicks it to Harrison, who goes up for the three. That's no good. Doesn't even hit the hoop. And it's going to end up being a Haynes ball. 36 Wrangell, 0 Haynes. 16.2 on the clock. Elliott throws into Hedden. Hedden is at the top, and she's going to move right. She's looking for a screen from LaPerry, but she passes to LaPerry. LaPerry gets it to Martin, then to Hedden in the corner. Hedden goes up with the shot, and it ends up being a jump ball under the hoop, and it's going to be Wrangell ball. 1.3 on the clock. Long pass from Johnson to Harrison across the court with a long shot up. Oh, and it was so close. So close. So that's the end of the third quarter. 36 Wrangell, 0 Haynes. I'm going to kick it back to KSTK. Folks, just a reminder, if you're on your YouTube stream, that the play-by-play is brought to you by KSTK Basketball sponsors. So a big thank you to them. And just a reminder, a great way to support public radio in Wrangell, so you can keep having live broadcasts with play-by-plays from KSTK volunteers. You can purchase some Alaska Air raffle tickets, and you can do that for $10 each or 6 for $50. Call 874-2345 to pay over the phone with a credit card. Stop into the station or look out for KSTK staff. Thanks for supporting public radio so we can continue to have play-by-play action like this. All right, we're back on the court. 8 minutes, fourth quarter, 36 Wrangell, 0 Haynes. We have our second lineup and half starting lineup on the court. I have Easterly, Nelson, Meisner, Breivik, number 10 Breivik, and Roundtree. And then we still have our starters for Haynes: Elliott, Bell, Hedden, Swainer, and Nelson for Haynes. All right, it's going to be Wrangell ball from the side. Easterly's going to be throwing in, and Haynes is putting the pressure on. We're going to hand off to Breivik, who's going to give it up to Meisner. Meisner's going to take a dribble and pick it up. She's got Haynes right on her. Meisner's going to flash through the paint. Roundtree's going to give it over to number 10, Breivik. That's Kaya. And we're going to end up with a foul on 22, Swainer for Haynes. So Wrangell has the ball under the hoop. Breivik has it. She's going to pass into Nelson, Shaylin, and that's going to go up and over, end up in Haynes' hands, and Hedden is going to have it. And one Hedden passes kind of crazily off to Bell, and the ball ends up down near the basket, but it's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to stay Haynes' ball. I've got 30. Elliott handing the ball in for Haynes. She's looking for somebody. She's going to try to get it in, but 35 for Wrangell. Nelson is right there, not making it easy. Elliott throws in at Hedden for Haynes, and she's going to move to the top. She's going to move all the way to the right. She's going to give it off to number 15, Bell. Bell's going to give it to Swainer, who's going to move her way into the paint, go up for a free throw. It's no good. Ends up with Haynes. They kick it out to Swainer, who gives it out to, nope, they kick it out to Bell, who gives it to Swainer. The shot goes up. It's no good. The rebound comes down with Nelson for Wrangell, and it's going to be Wrangell ball. Meisner has it at the top, kicks it left to Easterly, who goes into the paint, and it's no good. Haynes ends up with that rebound. And we have Hedden at the top. She's looking around for somebody to do something. Hedden picks up her dribble, gives it to 31 at the top of the key. The shot goes up. It's no good. Ends up with Haynes. They kick it out to Hedden. Hedden puts her shot up. It's no good. The ball ends up out of bounds, and it's Wrangell ball. So I've got Easterly with the ball. She's at the top, kicking it left to Breivik. Breivik's going to shoot it down to Shaylin. Shaylin tries to turn and put it up, but the Haynes was right there to say no thanks. And then right there was a good friend, and they kicked it up, and the shot was good. Number 1, Hedden moves in. She stops her dribble, passes out to 15, Bell. Bell gives it over to Swainer. Swainer to Hedden. Hedden to Swainer, who's going baseline all the way. And the ball ends up with Easterly. Easterly is making her way down the court and looks over to Meisner, who's at the top of the key. Bounce pass to Roundtree, who's in the paint. Gives it out to Nelson, to Breivik. Breivik to Meisner, looking for somebody. Tries to bounce pass to AJ. AJ does one dribble, puts it up. It's no good. Ends up with Haynes. Hedden is heading down the court. Kicks it out to Elliott. Elliott's looking for somebody, and she moves baseline right under the hoop. Puts it up! Thank you, Lord. First 2 points of the night. Better late than never. Woo-hoo. Thank you, Elliott. Number 30. All right, Wrangell has the ball now. Swainer tries to get in there to infiltrate, but ends up missing it. But in the end, the ball ends up going out of bounds, so I guess her plan worked out. It's Haynes' ball. All right, I've got Elliott on the sidelines, and she's going to kick it into Swainer. Alexis Easterly's right there to try to get it out of the way, but Swainer ends up with it, kicks it over to Bell. Bell down to Nelson, back up to Bell. Bell's going to kick it to Swainer. Swainer's moving right, gives it to Hedden in the corner. Hedden back to Swainer in the paint. Ball goes up. It's no good. 31, Haynes ends up with that rebound. Nelson, shot goes up. It's good. I believe that was 22. Swainer. That's 4 points for Haynes. 38 Wrangell. I'm just happy to see some points on the board. We got Nelson under the hoop with the ball. She's getting jammed up with the Glacier Lady Bears, and we're going to kick it out to Meisner. Meisner tries to give it to Breivik, number 10, and Breivik ends up losing it. It's going to be a Haynes ball. We have number 30, Elliott, kicking in to Bell. Bell does one dribble and hands off to Hedden, who heads under the hoop and kicks it out to Nelson. Patience Nelson, who goes up for 2, and it's good. And I have Breivik with the ball, and we're going to get a 30-second timeout for Wrangell. I'm going to kick it back to KSTK for that 30 seconds. If you're listening on the school's YouTube channel, the score is 38 Wrangell, 6 Haynes, 4:23 on the clock, fourth quarter. All right, back in the game. Meisner has a ball after a long pass from Brevik. Meisner to Easterly, Easterly to Brevik, Brevik down to Nelson. Nelson tries to get it out to Meisner, but it ends up with AJ. AJ kicks it out to Easterly, who tries to make her way into the paint. And Haynes is right there with a foul, and it's going to be on the ground. Now is 15. Bell with that foul. We've got subs coming in, subs coming out, and Wrangell ball under the hoop with Johnson. She's going to kick it in, looking for somebody. Haley Cook in the corner. Haley's going to move it out, bounce pass to Carney. Carney's going to bounce pass out to Johnson, but Swainer was right there to interrupt that pass. Johnson has the ball now under the hoop. She's looking for somebody. She's kicking out long to Brevik, number 2. And she tries to give it to Cook, but Swainer's right there, making her way down the court. And 2 points. It's good. Nice layup from Swainer. That's 8 Haynes, 38 Wrangell. And Johnson is at the top for Wrangell. She's going to kick it right to Cook. Cook's going to go up with the shot. It's no good. LePerry has the ball for Haynes, and she's going to give it to Hedden, who's going to head down the court. And she's going to get it into the paint to Elliott, who puts it up for 2. And that's good, right under the basket there. 10 Haynes, 38 Wrangell. Cook with the ball. She's at the top. She's going to kick it right to Johnson. Johnson is going to kick it to the top to Purviance. Purviance gives it back to Johnson. Johnson almost loses it. Gives it back to Purviance. Excuse me, Purviance to Brevik, number 2. And I think we had a foul here on Haynes. 1, Hedden. That's 3 fouls for Haynes, 3 team fouls. Johnson's going to throw the ball in from under the hoop. She's going to give it to Cook in the corner. Cook's going to go up with the shot. It's good. Beautiful 3-point shot. 41 Wrangell, 10 Haynes. Elliott throws in to Hedden. Hedden's at the top. She's going to move left and try to get into the paint, but gets stopped. She tries to give it to Elliott, but Wrangell ends up with the ball. Cook is going to come down the court, and she's telling Johnson to move to the right. She passes left to Brevik. Brevik takes a dribble, gets caught up, hands off to Cook. Cook goes baseline, puts a shot up. It's no good. Ends up in Haynes' hands for a quick second. Yep, and then back with Haynes, 23. That is Bell. Got 2 Bells on the team. All right. And Hedden has the ball at the top, giving it left to 25, LePerry. She goes up with the shot. It's no good. Brevik comes down with the rebound, but it ends up in Haynes' hands as she kind of fell backwards. Elliott grabs that ball and goes back up with it, and that's 2 points. Now I have Johnson, Wrangell with the ball. And she's at the top moving left. She's going to bounce it to Purviance, and Purviance tries to do like a little jump pass, but ends up traveling. Minute 59 on the clock. Hedden has the ball for Haynes. She's going to kick it right, and then back to Hedden. And then Hedden goes up with the shot. It's no good. Ends up bouncing off the backboard. Carney ends up with the ball. She passes to Purviance. Purviance gives it to Brevik, but we have an over and back. She just passed it to Brevik a little too quick. She wasn't quite over the halfway mark there. So Haynes has the ball. Elliott giving it into Hedden. Hedden's at the top. She's going to bounce it into 25, LePerry. LePerry puts a shot up. It's no good. Cook ends up with the rebound. She's going to give it down to Johnson, who's flashing into the paint. The ball goes up. It's no good. Cook gets the rebound and ends up down. And we have a foul. And that foul is going to be on 25, LePerry. And we're going to be shooting at the free throw line with Cook. Cook puts the ball up for the first free throw, and it's good, but Brooksy is saying no because there was a line violation, a toe over the line. So the first shot didn't count. First shot didn't count. Someone's toe was over the line, so she's going to do her second shot now. Goes up. It's good. Now I've got Haynes with the ball, 42-12. Wrangell's up, 1:27 on the clock, fourth quarter. Hedden has the ball on the top, and she's going to move left, move right, almost loses the ball off of a shoe, but then gets it over to 23, Bell. Bell picks up her dribble and gives it to LaPerry, who tries to get it down to Elliott. Elliott grabs the ball, turns around, and puts it up for two. Cook has the ball now for Wrangell. And she's going to pass it left to Breivik, number 2. Breivik is going to travel. And it's going to be a Haynes ball. That's all right. All right. Haynes has the ball with Hedden at the top. And she's going to move right, then left. Looking for a screen. Nothing good. Keeps it going left. Then she hands it off to Bell at the top. And she puts a shot up. It's no good. Elliott ends up with the rebound for Haynes and tries to give it off to Bell. But Wrangell's right there. Breivik, number 2, and kind of messes it up a bit for him. Hedden ends up with the ball for Haynes, and she's back at the top. And she's going to move right with it and give it off to number 30, Elliott in the paint. Elliott tries to move down under the basket and ends up with a foul from number 2, Wrangell, which is Amira Breivik. And Haynes ends up with the ball, tries to put it up under the basket. It's no good. Wrangell ends up with the rebound. Johnson is making her way all the way down the court, kicks it out to Cook with the shot going up. It's no good. Haynes is right there with the rebound. Elliott is making her way down the court. She's going to move right into the paint, goes up for the layup. It's good. They're going to have to watch out for Elliott on their next meetup. And that's the end of the game, folks. 42 Wrangell, 16 Haynes.
These are brand new, but you can't hear yourself. It's just uncomfortable. You can't try them out.
What's this?
No, I think it's for this.
I've got a set of headsets up that, well, there's some headsets right over there. You can put it over and maybe hear yourself. Is there anything going through your earthings? Nothing? Okay.
It's not that bad.
It's a sexy. And so there's no stop on that? It's just live?
Yeah. Yep. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wrangell Gymnasium. I'm Ramey Privet. I'll be doing the second game tonight against the Wrangell Wolves and the Haynes Glacier Bears. Now we'll see who's starting off for the Haynes Glacier Bears. Starting off, number 3, Colton Combs. Number 35, Stickler. A couple of wrestlers on the floor. That's always good to see. In fact, one state champion, I know for sure. Congratulations there, Mr. Stickler. Number 22, Farron. Number 13, Lloyd. Number 1, Jones. And starting off for the Wrangell Wolves tonight is going to be Michael Cook, number 20. Aiden Gillen, number 24. Number 33, Everett Meisner. Number 23, Jackson Powers. And Casey Whitaker, number 12. So it looks on the zebra stripes tonight. We've got Dustin Johnson, referee Chief Meek, and looks like the teacher, Mr. Brooks. Looks like they got something to say here tonight. Retired ref Jeff J. Bush. So if you can hear what's going on, last year we lost Fred Angerman Jr., who was a longtime ref and basketball player, and they're handing over memorial patches, all the refs, to the Angerman family. Okay. Standing ovation for the Angerman family. So Wrangell here, I'm not 100% sure how our boys look because this is the first time that they've played. They were supposed to be in Metlakatla along with our girls, but they couldn't make it down there. So it's going to be Whitaker and Stickler going to face off. Ball's up. Stickler gets it. Going to get over to Combs. Combs gets it over to Farron now. Going to dribble. Looking around. Going to try to get it off to Combs again. He does get it to Combs. Combs trying to get it inside to Stickler. Doesn't go though. Now back over to Farron. Farron looking into Jones. Back over to Lloyd. Now Combs is going to drive in. Gets stopped by Wrangell. Over to Jones. Back over to Farron. It'll take me a minute, folks. Now Combs back out to Farron. Farron drives in. Goes up for two. No good. Bounces around. Powers comes away with the rebound. Powers is going to take the ball down. Gets it over half court. Now looking around. Going to try to drive in. Nope. Gets it back over to Whitaker. Whitaker, no, and Stickler's all over him. Here comes Gillen back over to Cook. Cook's going to dribble around. Gets it over to Powers again. Powers is going to try to drive in. Back out to Cook. He's going to throw up three. Nothing but net on that one. So Wrangell's going to score the first one. It's going to be 3-zip, 6:50 to go in the first. Combs with the ball. Keeps the ball. Now he's dribbling around, trying to get it over to Farron. Does. Looking back into Combs. Nope. Now he starts his dribble. Gets it all over to Lloyd. Lloyd back over, and it's going to be tipped over and back. Going to be tipped off of Combs. And went over the half-court line, so over and back. Gillen's going to inbound it over to Cook. Cook's going to get over half court. Trying to get around, and Jones is all over him. There's Meisner back, the old give and go. Dribbles it off his foot. It's going to go out of bounds. Nice look, though. 22. Farron's going to inbound it to Combs. Combs has got some wheels to him. Dribbling around, he gets it over to Lloyd, now into Stickler, back out to Combs. Combs is going to try to press in. Nope. Stickler comes away with it, though. Now back over to Lloyd. Lloyd back out to Combs. Into Jones. Jones in there. Out to Lloyd. He's going to go back out to Stickler. Stickler going to throw it. No. Back out to Combs. Goes up to Jones. Back out to Farron. Combs going to throw up a three, and that's good. 3-3 tie. 5:47 to go. Powers with the ball, gets it down to Cook. He looks at the three-point line, dribbles back out around, goes over to Gillen. Gillen's going to try to dribble in now. Nope, gets cut off by Powers, has the ball. Powers is going to dribble around, and it's going to be called a jump ball. All wrapped up there. And that's going to stay Wrangell's ball underneath their hoop. Let's see if they can set something up here. Nope, just gets it into Cook. Cook throws up a three, bounces off the front of the rim, gets his own rebound. Going to think about it. Nope, gets out back up to Gillen. Gillen's going to come around over to Cook. Cook pulls up a jumper, no good. Combs is going to come away with the rebound. Combs all the way over to Farron. Farron back out to Combs now. Combs is going to drive in, pulls up, in and out, no good. Whitaker comes away with the rebound, gets it over to Powers, all the way over to Cook. Cook's going to drive down, goes in, tries to get it over to Meisner, no good, goes all the way out to Gillen. Stickler comes away with it. Now Lloyd with it, back out to Stickler, now out to Combs. Everything's going to relax a little bit. Come on, boys, let me catch my breath. Farron now back over to Combs. 4:46 to go in the first. Into Jones. And they're going to say that's off of Wrangell. As Jones is trying to drive in. Probably did go off on Wrangell's foot. Farron, number 22, he's going to inbound it. Farron gets it into Lloyd. Now over to Combs. Back over to Farron. Nope, over to Jones. Now back to Farron. Back out to Jones. Now over to Combs. Combs into Farron. Farron back out to Jones. Jones is going to try to drive in. Nope, gives it to Combs on the outside. Deep three. In and out, no good. Whitaker's going to get the rebound on that all the way down to Meisner. Meisner's going to try to drive in, and they're going to call a foul. And they're going to call that on Haynes. That's going to be on Jones. Might have been a little movement there. Looks like we've got Davis coming in. Going to have Lloyd take a seat. Gillen inbounds it to Cook. Cook gets around back over to Gillen. Gillen's going to dribble out up top. Nope. Tries to get stolen by Combs. Combs gets it down to Farron. Farron goes up 2 and is hammered by Whitaker. So it's going to put him on the line shooting 2. 4:06 to go in the first. 3-3 tied up here. Farron's going to be shooting 2. Farron's up. Bounce around, no good on that one. One shot to go. Looks like Wig on the sideline going to be coming in. Farron's second shot's up, and that one's good. So Wrangell ball. Wrangell with the lead, 4-3. Cook has it, trying to get it to somebody. Stopped his dribble, gets it over to Powers. Not a good pass at all. Powers stops his dribble, back out to Whitaker, over to Gillen, all the way over to Meisner. Meisner's going to try to drive in. Nope, back out to Whitaker, over to Powers. Powers is going to try to drive in, gets a nice screen by Meisner. But Powers and Davis, they're going to scramble for it. It's going to go Haynes' direction this time. 3:41, 4-3. Haynes Glacier Bears with the lead. Wig comes in. Meisner's going to take a seat. Combs is coming in with the ball. And they're doing a full court press. Farron now met at half court by Wig. Wig's fast. Gets it over to Davis. Davis bounces it into Stickler. Stickler goes up for 2. No good. Davis gets the rebound. Goes back up. And that's going to be Whitaker's second foul. So Mr. Whitaker probably going to be taking a seat. 3:24. 4-3. Haynes with the lead. Davis's shots up. Bounce off the front of the rim. No good on that one. Got Masson coming in. Whitaker's going to take a seat for Wrangell. Like I said, that's Whitaker's second. First quarter, probably not the best time to be swatting away. Second one's up. Another Manette on that. 5-3. Haynes with the lead. 3:22 to go. Cook with the ball now. Tries to get past Jones. Stops his dribble. Gets it over to Wig. Wig picks up his dribble. Now he goes. Stops. Trying to get it to somebody. Gets it over to Masson. Over to Cook. Haynes has got some good defense going on. That's for sure. They're going to call a foul on Haynes. A push, and that's going to be on Jones, I do believe, and that's going to be his second. So we got number 13 coming in, and that's going to be Lloyd. Jones is going to have a seat for a minute. 3:04 to go, 5-3. Haynes Glacier Bears with lead. Got Cook inbounds to Powers. Powers doesn't dribble, gets it off, gets it over to Cook. He's going to try to drive in, stops though, gets it out to Wig. Wig throws up a long 3, and that's good. Wow. 6-5, Wrangell with the lead back. Combs with the ball now. He's going to get it over half court. He's going to try to drive into the paint. Does. Nope. Gets it back out to Farron. Back over to Combs. Now over to Lloyd in the corner into Stickler. Back out to Farron. Farron looking for Davis. Bounces it. It's stolen by Wrangell. Almost a travel by Wrangell. Gets it over to Cook now. And there's Stickler. You're not going to beat Stickler to that ball. He's taking that every time. Stickler gets that one. Combs with it over half court. Looking over at Farron. Now over to Lloyd in the corner. Back into Stickler. Stickler goes up. No good on that. Wrangell's going to let it go out of bounds. It's going to be Wrangell's ball. 2:14 to go. 6-5. Wrangell inbounds it to Gillen. Gillen's going to get it over half court. He's there guarded by Combs. Back over to Gillen. Looks over, gets it to Masson now. Masson trying to get it to Powers. Does. Powers is going to try to drive in. The line goes up for 2. Bounces around, no good. And Lloyd's going to come away with that one. Gets it over to Combs. He gets over half court, drives into the paint, gets it over to Davis underneath, and it's blocked. Wrangell's going to come away with it. And the ref, or the coach for Haynes there, he's asking for a foul there, but no go on that one. Wrangell pulls up. That's Gillen. That's good for 2. So 8-5. 1:25 to go in the first. Gets it over to Stickler. Down underneath. He's going to try to go up. No go on that one, though. Powers is going to get it. Minute 17 go. Gets it over half court. Looks around over to Gillen. Gillen's going to try to get pretty close to that half court line. Now he's going to try. Nope. Stop. Pulls up. Short one. No good on that. And that's going to be Lloyd's rebound on that. Gets it over to Combs. Combs over half court. Gets it over to Farron. Farron looking around now. Back over to Combs. Over to Davis. Davis is going to drive into the paint all the way out to Lloyd. No good on that one. Wrangell's ball. He's going to do a long desperation. And Lloyd's going to come away with it. Gets it over half court. Back over to Davis, back over to Combs. 35 seconds left. Looks over to Farron. Farron's telling Davis to cut. Now gets it back over to Combs, back over to Lloyd, back out to Davis. Combs now looking around. Looking for somebody, trying to set something up. Gets it over to Farron. Now Farron's going to dribble in, bounces it into Stickler underneath, goes up and good for 2. 8-7, Wrangell still with the lead, 11 seconds. Gets it over half court now, and there's Powers with the ball. He's looking for somebody, and Farron's all over him. Trying to get somebody. Now Cook comes over, throws the desperation up. Nothing on that one. So at the end of the first period, 8-7. We're going to take a 30-second timeout. We'll send it back to the station. That was the warning buzzer. Looks like it's going to be Wrangell's ball. Somebody's kind of milling around here, but here we go, starting the second quarter. Massa gets it into Gillen. He's met by Combs. Gill now is going to bounce around, try to get it in, gets it over. Nope, going to keep it. Got Howell in the game for Wrangell. Massad's going to try to drive in, gets it over to Powers. Powers going to drive the baseline, goes up 2. They're going to call a foul on that one. So that's going to be on number 35. That's going to be on Stickler, his first. He's got a couple more to burn. Powers. First one's up off the back of the rim. Too hard on that one. Second one's up. Nothing but net on that one. 9-7's the score. 7:44 to go. Howell now meets Combs. He's going to guard him, and Howell looks like he's got some wheels. They're going to try to steal it from Combs, and they're going to call a foul on Wig. Wrangell coach is trying to deny that ball. So that's going to be on number 32. That's going to be on Wig. Farron over to Combs now. Combs looking around. Back over to Farron. Back to Combs up top, looking for Stickler. No go on that one. Now they try, but it's going to be stolen by Powers. See that one kind of coming. but it's going to be stolen by Davis. And if this is the same Davis family that's been playing for the past couple of years, he's got some wheels to him too. So Combs now over to Stickler. Stickler looking around, gets back over to Combs. Wide open, going to throw up a three. Bounces around, no good. Stickler with the rebound, goes back up. In and out, no good. Powers with it this time. Masson with it. He's going to try to desperation throw. No, stolen by Combs. Here he comes. Gets it into Stickler. Stickler goes up for two, and that's good. 9-9's the score. Gillen over there now. Work turns over to Howell. Howell gets it over to Wigg. Wigg back over to Gillen. Gillen all the way down to Powers in the paint. Tries to go up for two. Wigg underneath all alone. Goes up for two. That's going to give Wrangell the lead again. 11-9. 6:26 to go in the second. Farron with the ball. Dribbles down. Looks around. Gets it over to Stickler. Stickler looking for Davis. No, nothing on that one. Back out to Farron. Farron looking around now over to Combs. Combs back over to Lloyd. Back over to Combs. Back to Farron. Over to Davis in the corner. Davis bounces into Combs. Bounces around, and that's good for two. 11-11 is going to be the score. Now, Howell, he's going to throw up a three. Bounces around, no good. And Masson's going to come away with that one. Gets it over, and it's going to be bounced around, and it's going to be off of Wrangell, so it's going to be Haynes' ball. Look like we've got a couple Wrangell guys going to have a seat. Couple coming in. We've got Stearns. Lucas Stearns coming in. We got a 30-second timeout, so I'll send it back to the station. So there's the warning buzzer. Teams haven't broke up. Haynes back on the floor now. Wrangell taking their time. Going to be Haynes' ball. Like to say hello to my friends up there in Haynes, the Coach Andis and Mason and Coach Fudge. How you guys doing? Combs with the ball, getting over half court now. He drives into the paint, gets it in. Going to be beaten, but Stickler comes away with it. Over to Jones. Jones bounces into Stickler now. Looks over to Davis. Davis keeps it, gets it into Stickler. Bounces around. Powers is all over him, though. He's stuck in the corner. Looking for somebody. He's going to drive the baseline. Look at that. Goes up, and they're going to call a foul. That's going to definitely be on Stearns. .528, 11-11. Let's see if this big old wrestler down here can make these two. Stickler at the line. First one's up. And that one's good. He's already beaten my basketball percentage. Stickler's second one up. Bounces around, no good on that one. It's going to be bounced around, and Wrangell's going to come away with it. It's going to be Cook with the ball. Gets over half court. It's going to be battered around a little bit by Davis, and they're going to call a foul. It's going to be on Haynes. Not sure which guy, maybe 10, maybe Davis. Yep. It was kind of rough and tumble in there. So Powers is going to inbound it, gets it over to Cook. Cook looking for Howell. Howell dribbles it, gets it back over to Cook now. Looking on the inside, gets it to Powers. Powers going to try to drive. Nope, gets it over to Gillen. Gillen bounces it out to Howell. Howell's going to try to drive the paint over to Cook. Cook throws up a three. No good on that one, and Combs is going to come away with it. And they're going to call a foul on Stearns. He's racking them up quick. So that's going to be his second. I think old Stearns, yep. Mr. Lucas, he's going to have a seat for a minute. We got Meisner back in the game. Jones is going to inbound it, gets it over to Combs. Combs is trying to get by Wrangell, does. Gets past half court. Kind of by himself. So now over to Davis. Davis looking around. The Stickler. Nope. He's going to drive the paint. Goes up on the left-hand side. It's going to be blocked by Wrangell. And they're going to say it's off of Haynes. It's going to be Wrangell's ball. .444 to go. Wrangell 11. Haynes 12. It was kind of, that was all over the place. I don't know what's going on there. They're going to call it, I believe, Wrangell's ball again. It was kicked. It was hit. It was, I don't know, all over the place. So here we go. Wrangell with the ball, looking to get it into somebody. Gets it into Powers. Powers is looking around. He's going to try to drive the baseline. Nope, stop. It's going to be off, out of bounds. Off of Wrangell. So Haynes is going to get it. Nope. So Combs gets it. And try to drive in. Does. Up, no good. Gillen's going to come away with the rebound, and they're going to call a foul on Combs. He doesn't really care for that call. But it happens. Going to be Wrangell's ball all the way down at the other end of the court. Howell doesn't know what he's supposed to do. Now he's coming off. So Wig in the game now. Gets it over to Gillen. Gillen going to drive it all the way over to Meisner. Meisner going to try to drive in. Nope, stop short. Gets it over to Gillen. Back over to Meisner in the corner. Gets it back out to Gillen. Gillen looking over to Cook. Cook's going to throw up a long three. Wow. Nothing but net on that. 14-12. 4 minutes to go in the second period. Combs with the ball, gets it over half court, back over to Davis. He's wide open. Why not take the three? No good on that one, though. Davis gets his own rebound. Jones throws one up, and that one's good, and that one's good for three. So Haynes back to the lead, 15-14, 3:43 to go. Second period, Cook's going to drive in, gets it into Meisner. Meisner throws it up inside for two. 16-15. We got a back and forth ball game now. Combs with the ball. He's going to try to drive in the paint. And they're going to call one on Wig on that one. Hooked him for sure. So it's going to be in front of the Haynes Lady Glacier Bears, right in front of there where they're sitting in the gym. Haynes ball, gets it out to Combs. Combs driving around, gets it over to Jones. Jones is going to drive out to Stickler. Stickler back over to Combs. Combs is going to try to drive in the paint. Does. Nope. Back out to Farron. Farron's going to bounce around. They're going to bounce it off the out-of-bounds line, so it's going to be Wrangell's ball. Wrangell 16-15, 3:17 to go. And Haynes doing a full court press. Man-to-man coverage. Wig's going to be tangled up, and he's going to travel. So Farron's going to inbound it. Gillen's going to be up there with Combs. Combs looking around. He's taking his time. Getting over the half-court line. Does now. Looking around, telling Davis come up. Looking over. Stickler's going to set a screen. Doesn't use it, though. Back over to Stickler. Back out to Farron. Over to Combs. Combs looking to get to Davis. Now does. Davis could drive it in, but Meisner's going to beat it out. It's going to be Haynes' ball right in front of the Wrangell bench. So we got a full timeout. We're going to send this back to the station. 2:51 to go, 16-15, Wrangell lead. So there's the final buzzer. It's going to be Haynes' ball. Farron's going to bring it in. Farron gets it over to Combs. Combs now is going to try to get around. Gets it down underneath to Jones into Stickler underneath. He goes up for two, and that's good. Going to put Haynes back on top, 17-16. Cook with the ball. He's trying to get past Davis. Finally does. And they're going to call a foul on Haynes. That's going to be on Davis, his second. Looking around, now we got Wrangell not trying to get open. Coach Angerman slamming his foot on the ground, but time did expire. So Haynes with the ball again. Combs gets it. Going to get over half court. Gillen's trying to guard him. Back over to Jones. Jones going to drive into the paint. Back out to Stickler. Three over to Farron. Back out to Combs. It's going to go right through his hands, out of bounds. Wrangell with the ball, trying to get it to somebody, and there's Combs to steal it into Davis. Davis is going to go up and get the end, well, not the end one, but draw the foul for sure. .219 to go. Haynes 17, Wrangell 16. Looks like there might be a little sweat on the floor there or something. I'm going to dry that off. Second period now. Davis is going to be at the line, but they're getting everything mopped up over here. So, first one's up. Nothing but net on that. It'll jump him up to 18-16. Haynes with the lead. Second one's on the way. Bounces around, and it's going to go in. 19-16. Wrangell with the ball. Cook looking for Meisner. It's going to go off his feet or off his fingers and out of bounds. Wrangell needs to slow down. Powers is going to take a seat. He's going to put Whitaker back in the game. So Combs with the ball. Gets it over half court. Now looking at Stickler for a screen. Gets it. Doesn't use it though. Now he's going to try to drive in the paint. It's going to be stolen around. Bopped around. And they're going to finally call a foul? Yep, they're going to call a foul on Meisner. I don't know. They were kind of wrestling around for the ball. They're both wrestlers. They can figure it out. Farron's going to inbound it. It's going to put Combs. So, yeah, we're past the 5 team fouls for Wrangell. So that was their 16th foul. So that's going to put Combs at the line. This is not where Wrangell needs to be, that's for sure. Combs, first one's up. Nothing but net. 2016. Got Lloyd coming in the game. Farron's going to have a seat. Combs' second one. Bounces around, no good. And they're going to call that off of Wrangell. But, yeah. Haynes' ball. There we go. Here we go, guys. Stickler with the ball. He's going to inbound it. Looks to get it to... Stolen by Wrangell, by Whitaker. Over to Gillen. All the way down to Meisner. Throws one up and rolls it in for two. 2018. Haynes still with the lead. Combs with the ball now. Gets over half court. Picked up by Gillen. Over to Davis now. Davis going to dribble around. I was inside the paint on the left-hand side. And they're going to call one on Meisner. And Davis actually just kind of gave him the fake on that one. And Meisner fell hook, line, and sinker for it. (22-18). Haynes with the lead. Davis at the line, 1:36 to go in the second quarter. First one up. No good. Combs comes away with it. Back out to Jones. Jones looking around, back over to Combs. Combs gets it into Stickler. Stickler goes up, bounces around, no good. Meisner's going to come away with it this time. Keeps it. Trying to go around and in. Up two. No good, though. Combs with the ball. He's going to dribble down, gets to the top of the key, looks around over to Jones. Jones back over to Combs, over to Stickler. Stickler looking for somebody. Nobody open, though. He's looking, saying, hey, Combs, get over here. Finally, he takes a dribble, dribbles once, goes up and good for two, and takes two Wrangell guys down with him. 24-18, 57 to go. Seconds, that is. Wig in the game now. He's going to dribble down in. Goes up for two, and that's good. 24-20. 46 seconds left. Combs with the ball. Nobody's picking him up. Combs in, no good. Stickler gets the rebound, goes up for it, and goes in for two. 26-20, 34 seconds left. Cook with the ball. He's going to try to drive down, gets it over to Wig. Wig's going to try to drive in, goes over to Meisner, out to Gillen for a three, in and out, no good. Davis is going to get the rebound, 20 seconds now, over to Combs. Combs going to get over half court. He's going to drive into the paint himself, gets it over to Stickler. Stickler goes up, no good. Whitaker's going to come away with that one. Going to be stolen by Jones, though. Over to Davis, up, around, no good. Stickler gets the rebound, goes back up. Whitaker comes away with it this time. 7 seconds left. So at the end of the first half, Haynes is going to be 26 points to Wrangell's 20. We're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be back after that. There's the buzzer, folks, which means the second half is coming. 26-20, Haynes Glacier Bears with the lead. Let's see if Coach Angerman gave the Wrangell boys a pep talk. Combs with the ball now. Going the opposite direction. Going to keep the ball, trying to get it over to Farron now. Farron, Jones to come on up for it. And that's going to be a foul on Meisner. Reaching. Farron's going to inbound it. Farron gets it out to Combs. Combs going to come over the half-court line. Gets it over to Lloyd. Lloyd back into Stickler. Kind of wide open in the paint. Goes up for two. No good. That's going to be a held ball, jump ball between Stickler and Cook. Quite a bit of size difference there, folks. Powers is going to inbound it. Looking around, trying to get it open to somebody. Gets it over to Gillen. Gillen now, he's going to go. Gets it over to half court. Pulls up three. Nothing but net on that one. 26-23. Haynes still with the lead. Combs now has got the ball. He's going to get over half court and drive towards the paint. Gets it over to Lloyd. Now back out to Farron, over to Combs. Stickler calling for it. They don't give it to him, though. Back over to Farron. Back to Combs. Jones is going to cut in. Goes in for two, and that was a beautiful play. Didn't go, though. Wrangell's going to come away with the rebound. Now it's going to go off of Wrangell. Out of bounds, going to be Haynes' ball. Davis is going to come in. Lloyd's going to have a seat. Farron's going to inbound it again. Gets it over to Combs. Combs going to drive around, go into the paint, goes up for a quick two and gets it. 28-23. Gillen with the ball. Almost double dribbles or something there, but it's it over to Cook. Back over to Gillen now. Gillen's going to try to throw a three up. Bounces around, no good. Sticker with the rebound over to Combs. Combs is going to get it over the half-court line. Gets it over to Farron. Farron's thinking about it. Nope, back out to Combs. Back over to Davis. Davis has got the lane. Goes up for two. And gets it. I think he wanted a foul on that one, but no goes. 30-23. Glacier Bears with the lead. 6:22 to go in the third. Gillen with the ball. Gets it over to Whitaker. Whitaker back over to Cook. Cook's going to throw up a three. No good on that one at all. Gets it over to Davis. Davis over to Combs. Combs is going to drive into the paint. Going to be bounced off of him. Oh. Okay, well, they're going to say that was off of Wrangell. But, hey, I was a ref, and, you know, I can't see what he could see. But anyways, Farron with ball into Davis now. Davis looking around, gets it out to Stickler. Stickler with a three. Oh, come on. Davis goes up, back up for two, and that one's going to be good. 32-23, 5:55 in the third. Masson with it, gets it over to Gillen. Combs is going to pick him up. Gillen's going to drive down to the three, looks around, gets it over to Powers. Not a very good pass on that one at all. Powers is going to try to drive the line, tries to go up, and they're going to call a foul. It's either going to be on Combs or Davis. It's going to be on number 3, so that's going to be on Combs. It's going to be a second. 5:39 to go, 32-23. Gillen with the ball. He's going to try to inbound it to somebody. Gets it all the way out to Stearns, over to Gillen. Gillen's going to try to dribble in, gets it over to Wigg. Wigg goes up, bounces around, no good. Farron's going to come away with the rebound, gets back over to Combs. Farron thinking about it, nope. Calls Jones up, Jones back over to Combs. Combs going to drive in the red, and it's going to be blocked by Whitaker. Gets it back over to Cook. Cook's picked up by Jones, now over to Whitaker, now over to Masson. Masson now looking around. Gillen throws a long three up. 32-26. Combs with the ball. He's going to get to the three-point line. It's picked up by Cook. Over to Jones now. Jones is going to come back over to Combs. Stickler calling for it. Got nobody. He's looking for somebody. Back out to Jones. Jones over to Combs. Picked up by Cook. Going to be Masson breaking that up. So you got Farron going to inbound it. Looking for somebody to get open. Gets it over to Jones. Over to Combs now. Combs back over to Farron. Farron looking around. Gets it over to Davis. Davis back over to Combs. Combs is going to try to drive the baseline, and Davis is kind of in the way, and they're going to call a foul on Cook. He didn't like that call. But it's going to be underneath the hoop. No shot. Haynes ball, 32-26, 4:20 to go. And Wrangell's going to take a full timeout. Try to get something going here. 4:20 to go, 32-26. Glacier Bears with the lead. We'll send it back to the stations. So that was the warning buzzer. Going to be Haynes' ball underneath their hoop. Farron's going to inbound it for Haynes. Farron looking for somebody to get open. Gets to Jones. Jones over to Combs. Combs looking around. Hasn't dribbled yet. Now he does. Back over to Farron. Farron looking to Davis. Gets it to him. Davis back over to Combs. Combs is going to take a long three. Bounces around, no good, but Farron's going to get the rebound. Back out to Combs. Combs is going to go up and good for two. 34-26, 3:59 to go. And Wrangell kind of bobbled it a little bit. Haynes is going to come away with it though. It's going to be Combs down with it. Gets it over half court. He's going to drive into the paint. Out to Jones in the corner for three. Nothing but net on that one. 37-26, 3:40 to go in the third. Wrangell not looking so hot. Gillen now, he's going to drive to the three-point line. Back over to Cook. Cook's going to throw up a desperation three. No good on that one. Stickler gets the rebound. Gets it over to Combs. Combs over the half-court line. Over to Farron. Farron now takes his dribble, stops it, gets it over to Jones. Jones is thinking about it, gets it over to Davis. Davis gets it into Stickler. Stickler's going to go around over to Farron, back up to Stickler. Stickler throws one up, no good. Farron's going to get the rebound. Moves it all the way back out. Looks like he's going to reset everything. Gives it over to Combs, back over to Farron. He's going to drive the paint because he's got a wide open lane. Why not? That's another 2 points. 39-26. Haynes starting to walk away with this one. 2:45 to go in the third. Gillen with the ball. Gillen gets it over to Whitaker. Whitaker's going to throw up three, and that one's good. 10 points now. 39-29. 2:30 to go in the third. Farron with the ball. Glacier Bears still with the lead. Gets it into Stickler. In the middle of the keys, looking for somebody. Gets it over. Nope. Takes the dribble. Gets it now over to Davis. Davis is going to go inside the paint. Back out to Jones. Jones is going to throw up three. But Jones has a spot. And that's it. Gillen with the ball. 42-29. Gillen dribbling around. Looking around. Gets it over to Whitaker. Over to Cook. Back over to Gillen. Back over to Masson. Looking over to Gillen. Trying to get to Stearns. Back over to Gillen. Gillen's going to throw one up. No good, though, on that one. Jones is going to get the rebound. Gets it to Stickler. Goes up for two. Bounces too hard off the glass over to Masson, over to Stearns. All the way down to Whitaker. Bopped around by Jones, though. But that's going to draw the foul on Jones. It's going to put Whitaker at the line. That's going to be Jones's third. Whitaker's first one touches the rim. No good, though. It's like Powers is trying to come in, but he must be coming in for the shooter. Whitaker makes this one. Up, bounces around, and that one goes in. We got a sub coming in, two of them. Masson's going to take a seat. Whitaker's taking a seat. We got Powers in the game and Wig in the game. Combe with the ball. Going to bring it up, gives over half court line. Like I said, he's got wheels, drives all the way to the paint, goes up for two, no good. Looks like Cook's got it, though. And they're going to be slapped around. Comes away with Haynes' ball. Davis or Combs is going to go up. And Cook's going to slap that one down, so it's going to put Combs at the line. 1:20 to go, 42 to 30. We've got Combs at the line, third period. Got Lloyd in the game, Stickler, Combs, Farron, and Jones. Yep. Shooting two on that one. Everybody got excited. First one was up and good. 43-30. Combs with the ball now. Second one on its way. Bounces around. No good on that one. Kind of an over the back on Stickler, but they don't call it. And Combs is going to come away with it. A horrible pass by Wrangell. Combs going to drive into the paint. Back over to Lloyd. Nope. That was... I don't know. They're all wrapped up. They're going to call a jump ball on that one. That was to Farron, I do believe. But we got Meisner coming in the game for Stearns. 1:05 to go in the third. Going to be Haynes' ball. Farron's going to bring it in. Combs now with it. Looking around. Farron now. Back over to Combs. Back over to Jones now. Jones over to Combs in the corner. Corner is going to stay there. Farron's going to drive in. Goes up for two. High off the glass, but good for two. 45-30. Wrangell's going to try to run it down. It's not going to work, though. And Haynes is going to come away with it. Yes, Farron gets the ball back over to Combs. Combs is doing something there. I've never seen that. Try to slow the guy down. Gets it over to Jones. Lloyd goes up for two. Over to Stickler. Stickler gets the rebound. Goes up twice. Second time, it's good. 47-30. 22 seconds to go. Gillen going to try to get it up. Gets it over to Powers. Powers over to Meisner. Meisner's going to try to drive in. No good on that one. And it's going to be batted around. Wrangell's going to come away with it. Gets it over to Gillen. Looking to Powers. Gillen's going to go up. Bounces around. No good. And that's the end of the third. So at the end of the third, it's 47 Haynes Glacier Bears, 30 Wrangell. We're going to send it back for 1 minute. So there's the buzzer. Fourth and final quarter coming up. Going to be Wrangell's ball at the half-court line. Wrangell with the ball now, trying to get somebody open. Nobody's moving. Not a good pass again. Gets it over to Stickler. Stickler stops it, gets it over to Davis, over to Combs now. Combs is going to try to set something up. Nope, he's just going to dribble around. Gets over to the other side, goes over to Jones. Jones back to Combs in the corner. Combs is going to dribble in, goes up for two. Low off the glass and in for two. Wrangell with the ball. Wrangell's going to drive down. Looks over around, tries to get it over. Gets it to Powers. Powers is going to try to go up for two. No good. Meisner's going to come away with it, but he stepped on the line. It's going to be Haynes' ball. 49-30, 7:27 to go. Combs with the ball. Going to bring it up the court. Looking around now. Tries to get it around back over to Farron. Farron looking back over to Combs. Combs into Stickler. Stickler looking for Davis. Nope. Nobody there. Back out to Combs. Combs is going to dribble back out and around. Nope. Back over to Jones. Jones over to Davis. Davis out to Stickler. Back over to Jones. Back over to Davis. Now Combs running the old wheel. Davis is going to go in. Doesn't see what he likes. It's going to be batted out of bounds by Meisner. Farron's going to inbound it. Farron looking to get it in. Finally gets it into Davis. Davis now starts his dribble. He's going to stay in the paint. And they're going to call one on Meisner. Having a hard time keeping up with Davis. Like I said earlier in the game, he's fast. Haynes has got 2 or 3 guys on here that can flat move. Cook coming in the game. Meisner coming out. Meisner, that's going to be his 4th personal. Farron with the ball now, trying to get it into somebody. Looking around, gets it into Stickler. Stickler doesn't go up. He should just go straight up. Go up. There it is. I think they're going to call 5 in the key on that one. It's going to be Wrangell's ball. Wood trying to get it into Cook. Does. Gets it over to Powers. Powers is going to go up 2. And they're going to call a foul on Stickler. Oh, no, they're going to call an offensive. It was a little late, but yep, they're going to call it on Powers. Okay. Took Brooks there a couple minutes to figure that out, but so it's saying it's his first for Powers. .640 to go, 49-30. Glacier Bears with the lead. Someone must have fell on the ground there because we're doing a little mopping. Farron with the ball, trying to get it to Combs. Does get it to Combs. Combs isn't going to slow down, though. He's going to just roll with it into Stickler. Stickler goes up for 2 and draws the foul. Well, he's going to be at the line shooting 2. That's going to be on Whitaker. That's going to be his 3rd. 6:34 to go, 49-30. Stickler's first one on the way. Bounces around, no good on that one. Second one for Stickler. Nothing but net on that one. Found the stroke there. 50-30. 6:33 to go. Cook with the ball. Gonna gets it over to Powers. Back over to Wigg. Wigg's gonna try to drive in the paint. Nope. Stop short. Over to Cook. Cook all by himself throws up a three. No good on that one. Gillen gets the rebound. Comes out to Wigg. Wigg's gonna go up for two. Bounces around. No good. Combs is gonna come away with that one. Tapped over by Davis. Combs now gets it over to Farron. Farron's going to stretch it out a little bit. Hasn't started dribbling. Over to Jones. Might I add, Jones has a pretty sweet mullet. Combs now going to drive into the paint. Gets it over to Stickler. Bounces around. Wrangell's going to come away with it. Gets it over to Gillen. Going to be kicked off the foot. That was a kick ball. Yep. Off of Haynes. It's going to be Wrangell's ball. Good call, referee Johnson. Let's see if Wrangell can get it in. 5:50 to go in the fourth. Gets it over to Cook. Cook caught by Davis. Now looking around over to Wigg. Going to go right through the fingers of Cook. Cook pats himself on the chest and says, my bad. 50-30, 20-point spread. Glacier Bears with the lead. Combs with the ball. Gets it over half court. Cook's guarding him. Here comes Stickler with the screen. Combs drives right into the hoop. Good for two. 52-30. Looks like Haynes can pretty much put this one away here. Whitaker now gets it over to Gillen. Gillen looking around. He's going to throw up a long three. No good on that one. Stickler's going to pop it. But they're going to say it was off Wrangell. We got number 44 for Wrangell coming in. And that's Turner. Powers now looking around. He's going to try to drive in. Gets stopped over to Cook. Cook's going to go into the paint. Goes up for two. No good. Turner gets the rebound. And they're going to say it's off of Turner. So it's going to be Haynes' ball. It's going to be Combs. He's telling everybody to get down. Combs with the ball. Gets it over to Jones on the corner. He's going to drive into the paint. Stops short. Gets it out to Farron. Farron over to Combs now. Back over to Stickler in the paint. Drives over to Jones. Jones is going to throw up a three from the spot on the other side, but no good. And it's going to be off of Wrangell. Farron tosses off a Wrangell kid. So Farron, once again, will inbound the ball for Haynes. Powers from Wrangell is going to have a seat. That Howell coming in. They're going to call a foul. Probably going to be on Turner. Nope, on 22. That's going to be on Masson. Stickler with the ball. Trying to get around Turner. Does. They're going to call that one on Gillen. Nope. Excuse me. They're going to call that one on Turner. And that's Wrangell's 15th foul. So that's going to put Stickler at the line. Stickler's first one. In and out, no good. 52-30, 4:34 to go in the fourth quarter. Stickler's second one's up. Bounces hard, no good. We got a lane violation on Wrangell, it looks like. So that's going to put Stickler back at the line. Third time's a charm. Yep. Bounces around, and that one's good. 53-30. Howell with the ball. Looking around, tries to get it to somebody, doesn't. Gets it over to Cook. Cook brings it back out. He's guarded by Combs, and Combs goes for it. Batted around. Who's going to get it? Jones gets it over to Farron now. Farron guarded by Howell over to Jones. Jones now back over to Farron. Combs now with the ball, looking around, looking at Stickler. Nope, back over to Farron. Farron's got the ball. He's going to keep the dribble going. Stops the dribble all the way over to Jones on the other side. Jones back over to Farron. Looking at Davis, but gets it back up top to Combs. Over to Davis in the paint. Davis is going to drive in, goes up for two, and that's good. 55-30, 3:44 to go. Howell with the ball now, gets it over half court. Dribbling around, over to Cook. Cook drives in, nope, he's going to stay up top. Over to Howell. Howell over to Masson. Masson over to Stearns. Stearns trying to dribble in, no go on that one. Gets it back over to Masson, over to Cook. All the way over to Howell. Howell gets a screen, goes up for two, no good. Haynes comes away with that. It's going to be Combs. He's going to drive all the way into the red, goes up, no good on that one. Wrangell's going to come away with it. That's going to be Masson. Looking around, back over to Stearns, back over to Cook. 3 minutes to go in the quarter. 55-30 over to Howell. He goes up for two, no good on that. It's going to be Jones now. Jones is going to drive into the red, goes up for two, no good on that one. Cook with the ball. Back over to Howell. Howell's going to go up. Bounces around, no good. Haynes ball. It's going to be Davis with the rebound over to Farron. Farron gets over half court, and Farron says, slow her down, boys, slow her down. 2:30 to go. We're going to take a 30-second timeout. Looks like we got number 30 coming into the game for Haynes. That's going to be Johnson. 2:28 to go, 55-30. Glacier Bears with the lead. We'll take a short break. So there's the buzzer. 2:28 to go. Fourth period, fourth quarter. 55-30. Haynes with a good lead. Going to be Haynes' ball. Looks like one of the refs is laughing here because everybody was lined up on the wrong end of the court. So, Combs with the ball. Combs brings it up top. He's guarded by Howell. Over to Farron now. Farron back over to Combs. Right there. Nope, he's going to stop. Gets a screen by Stickler. Over to Farron now. Farron looking around. Stearns is right there with him, but Farron's going to drive into the paint. Looks over to Davis in the corner for a three. No look on that. Going to try to drive in. He's going to run into a Wrangell guy. Looks like that's going to be on Turner. Number 44, that's his second. Which puts Davis at the line. Bounces around, no good on that one. Second one's up, bounces around off the front of the rim. Stickler gets it though and throws it back up for two. 57-30. Under 2 minutes to go here. Stearns with the ball, tries to get it. Nope, throws it right to Combs. Combs is going to dribble around up top. He's guarded by Howell. Back over to Farron. Farron's got some distance between him and Stearns. He's going to try to drive in. Nope, just keeps the dribble going out to Stickler. Stickler over to Combs looking around to Davis. Nope, he's going to drive into the red. Nope, back out to Farron in the corner. Fakes out Lucas Stearns, back over to Stickler, burning some clock here. Combs now looking around. He's backing up. Nope, he's going to drive forward. Gets a screen by Stickler, drives into the red, goes up for two. Bounces around, no good. Wrangell's going to come away with it, though. Batted around. That's going to be off the foot of Haynes. It's going to be off of Combs. So it's going to be Wrangell's ball right at half court. Masson's going to inbound it, gets it to Stearns. Stearns gets over half court. Looking over to Howell. Howell's going to dribble around. Nope, comes back over to Hunt. Hunt back over to Masson. Masson tries to get it into Turner. Battered around by Haynes. Davis comes away with it. 50 seconds to go here. Farron's got the ball, hasn't started dribbling yet. Coach gives him the go-ahead. 44 seconds to go. Farron now over to Stickler. Looking for Johnson underneath. Johnson throws a shoulder, goes up for two. 59-30. 30 seconds to go. Howell with the ball. Dribbling around, trying to get to somebody. Gets it over to Turner. Stolen by Stickler, the big man. Almost stolen again. Nope. Just a little friendly bump and pass over to Johnson into Davis underneath. Goes up to two. Blocked by Turner. And back out to Farron. 10 seconds. 6 seconds now. Farron's just going to hold it right at the half-court line. 2 seconds to go. That's going to be the ball game, folks. 59-30. Haynes Glacier Bears comes away pretty handedly with this one. Tune in tomorrow night, same time, same places, 6 and 7:30, I do believe. Unless something changes, we'll let you know. Thank you, and have a good night, and I hope you're not shoveling snow.